I couldn't live a week without a private library. Indeed, I'd part with all my furniture and squat and sleep on the floor before I'd let go of the 15 or so books I possess. Cosmic terror appears as an ingredient of the earliest folklore of all races, and is crystallized in the most archaic ballads, chronicles, and sacred writings. If I could create an ideal world, it would be in England with the fire of the Elizabethans, the correct taste of the Georgians, and the refinement and pure ideals of the Victorians. No formal course in fiction writing can equal a close and observant perusal of the stories of Edgar Allan Poe or Ambrose Bierce. Science, already oppressive with its shocking revelations of our relation to all creation, we can never know anything whatsoever. All is immensity and chaos. But since all this knowledge of our limitations cannot possibly be of any value to us, it is better to ignore it in our daily conduct of life. Denied anything ardently desired, the individual or state will argue and parley just so long. Then, if the impelling motive be sufficiently great, will cast aside every rule and break down every acquired inhibition, plunging viciously after the object wished, all the more fantastically savage because of previous repression. One cannot be too careful in the selection of adjectives for descriptions. Words or compounds which describe precisely, and which convey exactly the right suggestions to the mind of the reader, are essential. To me, there is nothing but puerility in a tale in which the human form, and local human passions and conditions and standards are depicted as native to other worlds and universes. All rationalism tends to minimalize the value and the importance of life and to decrease the sum total of human happiness. It is easy to remove the mind from harping on the lost illusion of immortality. The disciplined intellect fears nothing and craves no sugar plum at the day's end, but is content to accept life and serve society as best it may. I have no illusions concerning the precarious status of my tales, and do not expect to become a serious competitor of my favorite weird authors. I have concluded that literature is no proper pursuit for a gentleman, and that writing ought never to be considered but as an elegant accomplishment to be indulged in with infrequency and discrimination, even when the characters are supposed to be accustomed to the wonder. I try to weave an air of awe and impressiveness corresponding to what the reader should feel. A casual style ruins any serious fantasy. The punch of a truly weird tale is simply some violation or transcending of fixed cosmic law, an imaginative escape from palling reality. Hence, phenomena rather than persons are the logical heroes. Horrors, I believe, should be original, the use of common myths and legends being a weakening influence. Orthodox Christianity, by playing upon the emotions of man, is able to accomplish wonders toward keeping him in order and relieving his mind. It can frighten or cajole him away from evil more effectively than could reason. Nothing is really typical of my efforts. I'm simply casting about for better ways to crystallize and capture certain strong impressions which persist in clamoring for expression. The earliest English attempts at rhyming probably included words whose agreement is so slight that it deserves the name of mere assonance rather than that of actual rhyme. The monotony of a long heroic poem may often be pleasantly relieved by judicious interruptions in the perfect succession of rhymes, just as the meter may sometimes be adorned with occasional triplets and alexandrines. We should perceive that man's period of historical existence, a period so short that his physical constitution has not been altered in the slightest degree, is insufficient to allow of any considerable mental change. The sole ultimate factor in human decisions is physical force. This we must learn, however repugnant the idea may seem. If we are to protect ourselves and our institutions, reliance on anything else is fallacious and ruinous. The cat is classic, whilst the dog is Gothic. Nowhere in the animal world can we discover such really Hellenic perfection of form, with anatomy adapted to function, as in the Felidae. An excellent habit to cultivate is the analytical study of the King James Bible, for simple yet rich and forceful English. This masterly production is hard to equal, and even though its Saxon vocabulary and poetic rhythm be unsuited to general composition, it is an invaluable model for writers on quaint or imaginative themes. One superlatively important effect of wide reading is the enlargement of vocabulary which always accompanies it. Never should an unfamiliar word be passed over without elucidation, for, with a little conscientious research, we may each day add to our conquests in the realm of philology and become more and more ready for graceful independent expression. That meter itself forms an essential part of all true poetry is a principle which not even the assertions of an Aristotle or the pronouncements of a Plato can disestablish. Modern science says, the sun is the past, the earth is the present, the moon is the future. From an incandescent mass we have originated, and into a frozen mass we shall turn. Merciless is the law of nature, and rapidly and irresistibly we are drawn to our doom. Let the future tell the truth, and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs. The future, for which I have really worked, is mine. Today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation, and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality. I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men. Our virtues and our failings are inseparable, like force and matter. When they separate, man is no more. It is paradoxical, yet true, to say that the more we know, the more ignorant we become in the absolute sense, for it is only through enlightenment that we become conscious of our limitations. Precisely one of the most gratifying results of intellectual evolution is the continuous opening up of new and greater prospects. Every living being is an engine geared to the wheelwork of the universe, though seemingly affected only by its immediate surrounding. The sphere of external influence extends to infinite distance. I do not think there is any thrill that can go through the human heart like that felt by the inventor as he sees some creation of the brain unfolding to success. Such emotions make a man forget food, sleep, friends, love, everything. In the 21st century, the robot will take the place which slave labor occupied in ancient civilization. With ideas it is like with dizzy heights you climb. At first they cause you discomfort, and you are anxious to get down, distrustful of your own powers. But soon the remoteness of the turmoil of life and the inspiring influence of the altitude calm your blood. Your step gets firm and sure, and you begin to look for dizzier heights. The harness of waterfalls is the most economical method known for drawing energy from the sun. There is no conflict between the ideal of religion and the ideal of science. But science is opposed to theological dogmas because science is founded on fact. To me, the universe is simply a great machine which never came into being and never will end. The human being is no exception to the natural order. Man, like the universe, is a machine. The human being is a self-propelled automaton entirely under the control of external influences, willful and predetermined though they appear. His actions are governed not from within, but from without. He is like a float tossed about by the waves of a turbulent sea.